We are on a walking tour right now, learning about the city center. We learned that there are about 30 protests every week. Could be up to 10 in a day. Walking down a main street, might see a protest on our walk. We actually already saw cannabis, something about legalizing marijuana.
But there was only 3 people there, so I don't think the cause was much.
3 people, and apparently they've already decriminalized marijuana and cocaine. Basically on par with one another, so no big deal. But here's to hoping that we can see a protest.
Well, at the top you can see the dog, yes, made of copper. Down there, well, that's our national flag. And behind that, we have that little statue. That statue weighs more than 20 tons. Yeah, I don't know. Down there, we have the main doors of the Congress. Yeah, can you see those big doors? They open those big doors once in the year, maybe twice.
So that is the Cabildo, and it is painted every week because of graffiti. So they repaint that every single week to keep it nice and white. As expected, a protest. Here's our 3rd protest. And
2008.
yeah, this protest has been here since 2008. So they've been protesting for 8 years living in there.
Because they got sent to the Falkland Islands to fight, but then they never actually got to fight, so the government doesn't consider them veterans, so they want veterans' rights. Fun
There you go.
fact of the day.
Fun fact from Katie of the day.
So this square has a really interesting history. There is, well, bodies outlined, but there's also these grandma heads that have been done in, and I don't know how to zoom. Oh dear. Oh, okay. So there's these grandma heads, and the history behind it is after, it was a time when it was under military control, and people were just getting snatched off the street, and so the square there's a group of moms that had missing children, I believe it was, and so they knew they weren't allowed to, if anything, in a group over 3, they would get arrested. So what they did is they segregated into different groups and would walk around this statue just to show their solidarity and talk about getting their children back, I guess. And so apparently every Thursday at 3:30 these ladies still walk around, and they've been doing it for 40 years. And then the other significance of this area is, and this is what the grandma part is there's grandmas, and I guess during that revolutionary time kids were getting sold off, and so these grandmas are offering free DNA testing still to this day to find their missing grandkids, and these kids would be about our age, between 25 and 35. More interesting facts with Katie.
Behind us, this is the Pink House, and that is where Eva Perón made her famous speech. That balcony right there.
And they speculate that it's pink because they painted it with cow's blood back in the day.
Cow's blood mixed with cow fat and lime.
It makes it waterproof. I'm gonna do that in our wall.
We're gonna have waterproof walls at home.
So this church is where, when the Pope was a bishop, before he was the Pope, this is where he was in charge of. And then up here is a white building that's actually owned by the Vatican, and that's where he used to live.
Another very important fact of the day that we learned is that Buenos Aires has the 3rd largest Jewish community in the world, behind Israel and New York City.
And the only other kosher McDonald's other than in Israel.
Yeah, 2 kosher McDonald's, one of them's here. Imagine that. Shalom. Argentina, they have 2 different exchange rates, or they did. They have the black market on the street, and then they have the bank market rate. The bank rate before was 9 pesos to every 1 US dollar, but the black market rate was 15 pesos to every US dollar. The reason Argentinians wanted US dollars is because they have 40% inflation rate here, and so every year their pesos basically get devalued. So what they'll do is they get paid in pesos, and they'll come to the black market and they'll buy US dollars to keep US dollars, so the value of their money isn't changing year to year. So they're not losing money, essentially.
Found your people?
We found my people, as a side note. So, but now, about 6 months ago in December, with the new government, they basically decreased the value of their peso, and so now it's the same rate whether you're going to the black market or you're going to the bank. So you get 15 pesos to every dollar instead. The reason they have the black market is because in Argentina before, Argentinians couldn't get US dollars from the bank, so they had to go to the black market to buy US dollars. Whereas now, with the new government, they can actually get US dollars from the bank, so they don't have to have the black market. So they tell you to avoid the black market because a lot of that's fake, and they'll probably get ripped off. So we came into Carry, a famous local hotspot for pizza. And we've got a few different kinds of pizzas here, and this one has a faina top. It's basically making a pizza sandwich, and that is how the locals do it. So, when in Argentina, eat like a local. Signs in the men's washroom above the urinal. I'll just leave it at that. So we just went for lunch at Carry, pizza joint right here. See it behind? Katie jumping trying to get into the video. Awesome recommendation from our guide. Really, really good pizza, local stop, cheap food, tons of food. On that same note, we took a tour with Buenos Aires free guides. If you Google them, they'll come up, or you'll find them on TripAdvisor. Awesome guide. We had Victoria. She was great, so energetic. It's free. They operate just on tips, so give it a shot.
You know what boca means?
Oh.
Mouth. Because that area is the mouth of the river. So, well, it's like the natural port. It's also the place where the immigrants arrived at the very, very, very beginning. That's why it's such an old neighborhood. That's why it's so touristic.
Embassy of the Vatican. Right next to the Park Hyatt Hotel. Right next to the creepy mansion.
It's the last standing home.
The last standing home. Privately owned. The oldest tree in Buenos Aires. 225 years old. And it goes all the way back there. That trunk is 7 meters in diameter.